Now we'll move on to conduct of business. We'll take the first part, and then the city clerk can help to take over on the resolution portions of 1 and 2. We're going to be issuing a proclamation recognizing June 2020 as Pride Month in San Bruno. I can also tell you we are joined by our supervisor, Dave Pine from the 1st District, and he wanted to say a couple words, and so I'll go ahead and do the proclamation first. So folks know that June is symbolic because it's the Stonewall riots that occurred in New York City on June 28th of 1969 at the time, and there's a lot of whereases, but I do want to read some of them and not just go over them quickly, but I think some are poignant. And then we're going to start here. Whereas the city of San Bruno is committed to supporting visibility, dignity, and equality for LGBT people in our diverse community, and whereas while society increasingly supports LGBT equality, it is essential to acknowledge that the need for education and awareness remains vital to end discrimination and prejudice. And whereas this nation was founded on the principle that every individual has infinite dignity and worth, and the city council calls upon the people of this municipality to embrace this principle and work to eliminate prejudice everywhere it exists. And whereas celebrating Pride Month influences awareness and provides support and advocacy for San Mateo County's LGBT community, and is an opportunity to take action and engage in dialogue to strengthen alliances, build acceptance, and advance equal rights. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the City Council hereby proclaims the month of June 2020 as Pride Month in support of the LGBT community, and that will be signed. I'll be signing that and sending that to our folks that requested. And so I know that's normally in presentation, but we were going to put it all together. But I do, with council's permission, would like to open it up to our supervisor, David Pine.
Thank you, Mayor Medina. It's a pleasure to join the council and staff and public tonight. I'm the liaison to the San Mateo County LGBTQ Commission, and over the last 4 or 5 years, I've been active on the county level in promoting equality and reforms for the LGBTQ Commission. So I thought I'd join you tonight just to say a few words. First, I'm very grateful for you to take up both the proclamation and the flag raising. Our LGBTQ Commission has approached all the cities in the county, and I believe all 20 are adopting proclamations. And then there are something in the order of 6 or 8 who are raising the Pride flag. I see in your agenda that you're also considering a policy about flag raising, which I think is very important, because I know of at least one city where questions about, how decisions are made about flag raising came up and kind of caused a bit of a stumble. So I think what you're doing here is hopefully a model for others. So just very briefly on Pride Month itself. This county is incredibly inclusive and welcoming to all, regardless of color or ethnicity or what country you come from or what language you speak. And today we celebrate in particular, of course, our LGBTQ community and the tremendous progress that the community has made. You think back to the days of Stonewall, and I don't think it would have been hard to imagine at that time that you would have marriage equality where anyone can marry today in our country, regardless of sexual identity or orientation. But we also know there's lots of work yet to be done. Our LGBTQ seniors and youth, have unique challenges. And most concerningly, the law of the land, at least at the federal level, is that you can fire people based on their sexual identity. That case is being considered by the Supreme Court. So much work to be done. And then finally, of course, this is a particularly important time in the country. I really commend the council for the statement they made and the way you presented it. And there's a real intersection with LGBTQ Pride Month. Pride Month is all about inclusion, acceptance, tolerance, equality. Those are things we just so in Stonewall was the beginning of a transformation for the LGBTQ community, and much has been accomplished. So it's my hope that the tragedy in Minnesota and the national protests and debate and turmoil that has arisen, will mark the beginning of a similar transformation for our African American brothers and sisters, and for much needed criminal justice reform. So once again, it's great to see San Bruno considering these actions tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for your words. I was looking real quick. I didn't want to be disrespectful to Dave, but I do see Mrs. Perez has her hand up. So, Melissa, if you could have her join in, please.
Sure. Hey, Chris, can you hear us?
I can, Melissa. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to thank you for bringing this up. I'm Chris Perez. I live at 2000 Genevan. I really appreciate the council, the city manager, and the city clerk for recognizing Pride Month with the proclamation and also considering the flag raising. I've served on the LGBTQ commission. I no longer am serving, but I hadn't, during our time on the commission, we conducted a survey of LGBTQ folks in San Mateo County, and there was a specific youth survey. And there are many stats that came out of there, but one of the remarkable and very sad results of that was that we found that 77% of the youth surveyed, the LGBTQ youth in our county, considered harming themselves. And so when we fly the flag, when we have pride stickers or anything that connects the LGBTQ community to businesses, to government, to neighbors, it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference for the kids. It makes a big difference for families, for me. I'm a mama bear. I have a gay son. And during the times that were the hardest, when he was being harassed in school, something that really gave us a lot of hope and made us feel safe was when we saw those rainbow flags and other things that let us know that we were welcome and included. So anyway, I also wanted to tell you that I fly a pride flag in front of our house, and the only thing I ever get about that is good comments. People will know where we live and mention the flag and say how much it means to them to see it. So I encourage you to pass that, to approve that, and we hope that we'll see the flag up for the rest of the month of June and in the years to come. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And again, this is in regards to the proclamation which has been issued. So in regards to the flag, that will be the next topic that we will be going over in the resolution. But I knew you were going to maybe accept the proclamation in some respects on behalf of the commission since you served. So wanted you have that opportunity.
Crystal Cancino is also on, and she is a member of the LGBTQ commission, as well as Steve Disselhorf. And I think they would be the ones. I'm sorry that I spoke out of turn.
Not a problem tonight. It's not a problem. If anybody else wants to speak in regards to the proclamation, you can go ahead and raise your hand. I'm looking through the list. Okay. And again, I want to thank the supervisor for his time this evening as well. So we're going to move on to the next, which was about adopting a resolution. There were two parts to this. Approving a council policy regarding the display of commemorative and ceremonial flags and banners at city facilities, and number two, authorizing the display of the LGBT pride flag at a designated San Bruno city facility to commemorate the LGBT Pride Month. And Melissa, are you taking this topic or?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good, that gave you
Okay,
some.
so I know that we have still a lot of items to go through, so this is a very brief presentation for you. I just wanted to give everyone a little bit of a background to understand where this item is coming from. On April 28th, 2020, my office, the city clerk's office, received an email from a member of the San Mateo County LGBTQ Commission requesting that San Bruno recognize June as Pride Month in San Bruno. And they also, in that request, had asked that excuse me just one moment, they asked that a proclamation had been made, which Mayor Medina, you just read. When we received that request, we realized that we did not have a policy centered around commemorative flags or banners, and we felt it wise, as Supervisor Pine said, to move forward with such a policy at the time of this request, because of course we didn't want to fall into that trap that I do know that other cities have come into, where they receive requests to raise a flag or a banner and they don't have a policy and they just accept it. Well, then they get requests from other groups wanting their flags raised, and it becomes an issue, as was addressed earlier. So I do want to recognize that that is why we are proposing this policy tonight. The policy is pretty brief. I summarized here on this slide for you some of the main topics of the policy, just to show that the United States flag and the state of California flag, those are governed by federal laws in the United States flag and state laws with the state of California flag. So those have specific guidelines for their raising, which I did want to recognize in that top bullet, that the United States flag and the state of California flag shall be displayed in accordance with federal and state laws and regulations. The city manager is authorized to order that those flags be lowered to half staff by order of the President of the United States or by the governor of the state of California. And in the event of a commemorative or ceremonial flags or banners, this is when the council comes in. We will need the council to designate a city flagpole that is located on a San Bruno city facility for the raising of a commemorative or ceremonial flag or banner. And we should also, whenever we receive these requests, have the city council designate the time that the flag shall be raised. In this particular case, it was requested that the flag be raised for the month of June, as June is recognized as Pride Month. The city will not display commemorative or ceremonial flag or banner based on a request from a third party unless it is approved by city council resolution. So that just says basically what it sounds like. If we receive a request, we're not just going to approve it on staff's time or staff's decision. We will bring it forward to the city council for review and approval. This next slide has the request that was originally sent to the city clerk's office, just so that you see that it was to raise the LGBTQ rainbow flag for the month of June, and also to issue a Pride Month proclamation, which has been done. And this was received by LGBTQ Commissioner Crystal Cancino on, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, Cancino or Cancino, on April 28, 2020. And like I said, this paragraph here, it shows the bullet as it was written to us and received by our office. Your options tonight, if you could designate for us a city-owned flagpole for the display of the commemorative or ceremonial flags or banners. Also to adopt a resolution approving a council policy regarding the display of commemorative and ceremonial flags and banners at city facilities, and authorizing the display of the LGBTQ Pride flag at a designated San Bruno city facility to commemorate the LGBTQ Pride Month. And so since those are two separate resolutions, we would need two separate motions on those. Your alternative options, should you choose not to go that route, is to not adopt the flag policy resolution tonight, and also not to authorize the display of the LGBTQ Pride flag for the duration of June 2020. With that, I am happy to answer any questions that you might have.
And I'd like to, just because I've seen a hand up, so I want to, council's okay, I want to go to the public first in case somebody needs to get on to something else or take care of something. So if you're in the public and you wish to speak, if you could raise your hand and we'll go ahead and start to go down the list of those in wanting to speak in regards to items 1 and 2 under the resolution. And so I see some are coming up, so I'll let the city clerk call upon them.
Okay, Stephen, I'm bringing you in right now.
Okay.
Can you hear us, Stephen?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to say that I am so excited. I mean, beyond excited about this evening's conversation. I won't put lots of time into this, but I've been asking and sending emails asking for raising this flag for the last 5 years. So the fact that we're here tonight is super, super important to me. You talk about Stonewall. I lived just 2 blocks from where Stonewall happened on Christopher Street in New York City. And it was after Stonewall, but I understand very, very, very clearly where the voices are coming from. And we have a huge LGBTQ community who would like to see they would like to see that we understand where they're coming from. And in this world right now, where we're talking about Black Lives Matter, I mean, this is an equity issue. And I don't really think that there's room to decide, do we accept this or we don't. In fact, I would expect every one of the council members to accept this, and I would expect you all to find a prominent place to display this. We live in the Bay Area. We're not far from San Francisco, and this flag should fly proudly in front of our city hall. I have many family members who are gay and who I love dearly. I think we all have them, and for us to exclude any one of our family members or our community members is just it's wrong. We're talking about equity. I rode the AIDS Life Cycle ride 8 years, and I got FedEx, whom I was working with, to support that ride. Now, it's not all about LGBTQ, but it is about many of the people who ride that ride are riding they're riding in remembrance of what the 80s were like. And I was living in New York during the 80s. I mean, we need to acknowledge our LGBTQ community, and there's no better way to do it than put this flag right in front of City Hall. And I'm hoping that's what you'll all do tonight. Thank you very much, and I think Sandra would like to speak.
Thank you, Stephen.
Hello, it's Sandra again. Last week, a group of us, I mentioned this last week, I went to City Hall and raised the flag at the steps, and we just celebrated at the beginning of Pride Month. And we had so many cars driving by and honking, and people just, lit up. It's just such a happy, wonderful thing. And other people, who otherwise just go home and feel excluded from our community, going down El Camino, looking over and seeing the flag, I think would make a huge difference in people's outlook. I don't think we should put it anywhere other than that, because I think it's just so significant. I went to the Black Lives Matter protest in San Mateo earlier last week, and what did they have at City Hall? The Pride flag. Daly City, they put theirs up. I haven't been there yet, so I don't know where theirs is, but I think it should be very prominent. And we, like my husband said, we are a part of the Bay Area, and if anywhere, it should be here. It's just taken way, way too long. So I hope you all vote for it. It's time to be inclusive. It's time to know that we're all important, and we all need to feel like we're accepted in our communities, regardless of who we are, why we are, what we are. It doesn't matter. If we're respectful, people should be respectful back. And I just think it's a really good time. I really love to see that flag at City Hall. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.
Okay, the next here is Alexander Melendrez. Hey, Alexander, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, San Bruno City Council. I want to thank Supervisor Pine for being at our meeting and being one of the many leaders to help be a great advocate for San Mateo County's LGBTQ plus community and the San Mateo County Pride Center. I'm speaking as a San Bruno resident, and I'm also a member of the Peninsula Young Democrats, and we're a diverse group of stakeholders here in the Peninsula. I support raising the pride flag above City Hall in honor of Pride Month as well. I want to quote our president, Sarah Fields, who wrote a Daily Journal op-ed on this, actually. The flag is a symbol not just of tolerance or acceptance, but of pride and inclusion. It speaks to the values honored by our city. She was referring to the city of San Mateo. Last night, the city of Daly City gave a presentation on the raising of the pride flag above their city hall. Oh, it was incredibly moving. The city of Redwood City and the county of San Mateo, thank you, Supervisor Pine, also raised the pride flag this month above their most visible locations, Courthouse Square and County Center, respectively, I believe. South San Francisco also rose the pride flag above their city hall, too. Those are the 4 largest cities in our county, plus the county itself. We are the 5th largest city in the county. That has significance. There are other cities in the county as well that have also done this, as Supervisor Pine alluded to. But one of the main points of raising the flag is the need for visibility among our LGBTQ plus community. Thus, it goes that the flag should go in our most visible location, above San Bruno City Hall. I really want to thank you guys for bringing this issue before you, both the proclamation and the potential to raise the flag in a designated city location. I hope you will consider City Hall, and I wish you all a very happy Pride Month. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Next is Crystal Fresh. Just one moment while I bring you in. Hey, Crystal, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm Crystal Cancino. I'm sorry, I didn't know that it said Crystal Fresh on my
Oh,
thing.
hello, Commissioner Cancino.
Hello. First off, thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and the City Council. I don't know if we officially accepted it, but just in case, let me just cover my basis and say, on behalf of the LGBTQ Commission, myself and the other commissioners, and obviously many of the residents here, along with Supervisor Pine, we're so honored to accept this proclamation from San Bruno, recognizing all LGBTQ people and the month of June as Pride Month. And I'm hoping that we can continue to do that by raising the Pride flag at City Hall. I do want to say that this is a collaborative effort with the LGBTQ Commission and the residents of San Bruno. So I'm really hoping that we can pass that. This visibility, it also allows the LGBTQ residents to know that they are seen and that they are important. This flag includes all the colors and represents unity among them. And during this time of social distancing, with all the protests going on, these simple acts of visibility create a deeper sense of connection and inclusion for everyone in our community. Pride visibility has taken on even greater urgency due to the health pandemic. And the Pride Initiative and the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors plan to take our Pride celebration virtual for the first time, which started on Monday. So Pride is going on right now, and people who are interested can go ahead to smcpridecelebration.com for the calendar of events. And I just want to say that COVID-19 has had an unexpected impact on our mental health, even more so for the vulnerable members of the community. So by issuing the proclamation, raising the flag, the city of San Bruno is visibly demonstrating how important it is for all of us to see our local government celebrate Pride Month. And I just wanted to say love conquers all. So thank you so much again to the mayor, vice mayor, and city council for allowing this to be on the agenda and for hopefully passing the flag raising. And I don't know if anybody can see, but I am waving a Pride flag right now in front of the camera. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And now why don't we say it's officially been accepted by the commission. Thank you. Next, please.
Next is Terry Francis. One moment, we're trying to unmute you, Terry. Terry, I'm unable to unmute you.
Oh, I
Hi,
think
can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm so glad that you accepted the flag for San Bruno, because basically San Bruno is the main way to the San Francisco airport, and San Francisco does honor the LGBTQ, the gay community, and we have several of them working in the city of San Bruno ourselves. So it would be more than honoring to, it's to honor now when during the month of June that us and the workers and our family members will be able to see the flag that will be shining up on the city hall or wherever you members decide to put it. Thank you very much. We are very much appreciative of you accepting the flag.
Thank you, Terry.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for listening to me.
Absolutely.
It looks like that was the last hand. I'm seeing no others.
Okay. Thank you very much, Melissa. If you take the timer down, we'll bring it. You've heard the presentation and, of course, the community. And if we'll bring it back to council for questions or clarification or things that are potentially needed. Oh, of course. Okay. Any members of the council?
To the chair.
Yeah, Laura?
Hi, thank you for all those who spoke up tonight. I really appreciate the input, especially you, Dave Pine, as well. It makes me smile just to hear the comments. It makes me smile to be a member of this San Bruno community. I think it's so important in these times that we acknowledge and recognize that everybody is deserving to be welcomed into our community, regardless of who you are and what your stances are. I can't be prouder, so thank you so much.
Thank you. Linda, I see your mic is on, so you can speak. Go ahead.
Great, thank you. No, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who got involved, who are on the call tonight, who spoke tonight. Tonight, I feel like is about inclusion, starting with one of our first items. And I just want to say, Alexander Melendrez mentioned the symbol of the flag. I think the flag also symbolizes really survival. Over the years, we've had so many cases on the news where people have been burned for being gay or being a lesbian to death. We've had, I still remember the iconic photo of Princess Diana shaking the hand of a gay man in London, or I believe he was gay, in London, but giving real attention to the HIV epidemic that was happening within our gay community. And really very little was being done at politically to help our HIV gay men, especially here in San Francisco. So I think that the flag really symbolizes survival, and I think it's a message of hope. So thank you.
Marty.
Yes, I'd like to thank everybody. Supervisor Pine, it's great seeing you again, and you've been a champion. It's time. It's time to be fully inclusive of everybody, and I support this, and I look forward to its placement at City Hall. We can get to that, but that's where it should be. I thought about that, and each time I gave it just a little more thought. Where else? Where else should it be? It's right in front. It's on top of the steps. It's flying over our City Hall where governance is and where we should be providing the example. I'm for it to be at City Hall, and I look forward to the vote.
Michael?
I believe my colleagues have really said it all, and I believe this is important. The message that we started off today's meeting with really does encompass a lot of different things, and tolerance, acceptance, inclusion. Those things are really important, and so I'm glad we have this on our agenda tonight.
Yeah, and for me, yes, Daly City did have raising at City Hall, and this was their first year. So that was their first year, and there are other cities that are or towns that are not doing it. One thing I did learn in talking to some of the other jurisdictions and electeds was a policy was important, because and Supervisor Pine is right, and I'd heard a couple that said lesson learned. One person on the council made this decision. This flag was flown based on what the mayor said, and it did not go over well. So I think it's very important for at the time, for it to come to a council decision of its current elected body and not just the mayor. I think it's, again, about being inclusive, right? And I think it's about doing it together. I always have in the back of my mind the concern about what happens when, and there have been situations where some events, not this situation, have wanted to been canceled because this wasn't done or that wasn't done or this wasn't included. So we always have to be mindful of that. And I also, one thing I'll say, when we used to have the holiday tree lighting ceremony at City Hall, was it's not a great place for ceremonial things. Heck, if we had a flagpole down at Centennial Park, where it's in the center of our business district, where we could bring people down and have an event and an activity and raise the flag and have people stay there, just like the holiday tree lighting, I'd like to see that become a focal point as well as bringing folks down to San Mateo Avenue, and then maybe after the ceremony they would go and they'd have something to eat, they'd go shopping. So I think those are things too, because I know with what we're doing with COVID-19, that's not possible right now, and I understand that. And to be very candid, I don't know that we have another large flagpole other than in municipal facilities. Doesn't mean we can't get one, but at this time. So anyway, what was being asked is about the policy, about flying the flag, and then about which flagpole. So those were the three things we've been tasked with tonight. Marty, you gave me the answer on the where on the flagpole, so I wrote that one down. What are the other colleagues wishing?
Through the chair.
Yes, Laura.
I agree. So I think it's in front of City Hall. I think on the flagpole that exists, and approval of
policy.
The policy. Sorry.
That's all right. And flying flag. Okay, I got everything. Laura. Linda.
I echo Councilmember Davis's.
Got it. Michael.
Make it 4.
You got it. And then Marty, I'm just going to assume with our last names, we're on board too.
That's a good one.
Okay. All right. So this is a resolution, folks. So do I have anyone on the council that would like to take action?
To the chair. So
Laura.
motion to approve the resolution authorizing the city to approve the policy regarding the commemorative flag.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember Mason.
Aye.
Councilmember Medina.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Salazar.
Aye.
Mayor Medina.
Aye, and just for clarity, that is in regards to the policy going forward. That is to the City Hall flagpole, and that is a yes to flying the flag. So I just want to make sure for the record that is clear, that encompassed all those on the resolution. Supervisor Pine, I want to thank you again for being here with us and your comments. And I'm going to say we're going to put you back to the other room so that you can probably get back to a lot of other business that you have to do for the county. So we thank you for all that the board is doing in the county during this COVID-19. So thank you again for everything. And have a good day.
Take care.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Supervisor.